Alright, today we're solving Leetcode's missing number challenge. There are a couple of optimal solutions we'll go over. For the first approach, we're going to sort the array of numbers in place, which will allow us to have a constant space complexity. Since the array contains only distinct numbers, that means a sorted array should have values that match their corresponding index. So we'll loop through the sorted array, and if at any point the index does not equal its value, then we'll return the index because that means we're missing that index's corresponding value. Here we have example 1 from Leetcode. We can see that the second index has a value of 3, when it should have a value of 2. Therefore, we return the index of 2 because we're missing the number 2. Let's translate this to code. Okay, we'll start by sorting our nums array with the built-in sort method. Next, we'll set up our for loop. We'll initialize the index with the value of 0. We'll check that the index is less than or equal to the length of our nums array. And then we will increment our index once the code block is finished executing. We'll check if the index is not equal to the value of its corresponding index in the nums array. If it's not, we'll return the index. And that's our solution. Let's copy and paste this in Leetcode. Okay, let's paste it in here. Hit submit. And we get an accepted solution. For the second approach, we're going to utilize a hash map and a couple of non-nested for loops for a solution that has a big O of n time and space complexity. So compared to the first approach, we get an improvement in terms of the time complexity, but we lose performance on the space complexity. First time we loop through the array of numbers, we're going to build a hash map that contains the numbers as keys and a boolean of true as its value. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what you store as a value. The keys are what's important in this situation, and that will become clear why in a moment. So our second for loop is going to iterate from 0 up to and including the length of our nums array. Each iteration, we're going to check if the number is present as a key in the hash map. If it's not, then we're going to return that number because it means we're missing that number. Here we have example 1 again from Leetcode. As you can see, we're missing the number 2 as a key in the hash map, so our if condition evaluates to true when the num equals 2 in our for loop iteration, and we return 2. Let's translate this to code. Okay, we'll start by initializing a variable called hashMap with an empty object. We'll set up our first for loop that'll iterate through the numbers in the nums array and assign the numbers as keys in the hash map with true as their value. Then we'll set up our second for loop. We'll initialize num with a value of 0. We'll check that num is less than or equal to the length of our nums array. And then we will increment num by 1 when the code block is finished executing. Inside of our for loop, we'll check if the number is not a key in the hash map. If it's not, we'll return the number because that means it's our missing number. And that's our solution. Let's copy and paste this in Leetcode. Okay, let's replace our previous solution, hit submit, and we get an accepted solution. Thank you for watching.